What's going on, guys? I'm Built, and welcome back to another episode here on the Project Bedrock. There goes my sword. There better not be a drown that grabs my sword. Get back here. Alright, let's try that again. What's going on, guys? I'm Built, and welcome back to another episode here on the Project Bedrock server. We are starting off today flying over the ocean monument, and you can see that I am nearing just about halfway done with this massive project. And I actually ended up draining a lot more water than I probably should have. However, I wanted to have a really big hole surrounding this thing to do a lot of fun activities with. Now this has typically just been a stream project. I don't really record much of anything here aside from the occasional update here and there just to keep you guys updated with the progress here. If you want to catch any of my streams, then head on over to Twitch and follow me there. All of the links are going to be down inside of the description below. And I typically try to stream on Tuesday nights, typically around 10 p.m. EST. So feel free to drop in and say hello. With the shameless self-promotion out of the way, let's get on to the video. Now, most of what I've been up to has really just revolved around the piglin bartering farm. There has been a ton of work that I've needed to do to this thing in order to get all of the bugs worked out. Aside from the main thing that I'm going to be showing you, I have really done some updating to the halls here inside of the nether tunnel, just making it overall easier to navigate through, and I started laying some floor here just to keep the mob spawning down. And then this way is a lot wider than it ever used to be, which leads over here to the piglin bartering farm. Now, if you look at the piglin bartering farm, this in the bulk looks similar. However, I've pretty much redesigned every little bit here. And the reason for that is due to a bug. Well, yeah, believe it or not, there's a bug on Minecraft Bedrock. The bug is easier to explain whenever you're using the hoppers inside of a sorting configuration. However, whenever you have a sorted item inside of the hopper that is locked, and then you have 4 blocker items like you typically would have inside of your sorter, you can only allow 1 item inside of that hopper, and the hopper will only allow the item that needs to be sorted out to go through that hopper. Well, there has been a pretty long-standing bug. If there is a item on top of the hopper, then it's going to lock that hopper essentially and not allow any items to go through it, even if the hopper already contains the item. In this case, using a sorting system setup, we can see even though the sorted item is inside of there, whenever I pass a bunch of sorted items over that includes the one inside of the hopper is not going to pick it up because there is an item over top of it. However, whenever that item is removed from the top of the hopper, then the hopper will work correctly again. Well, with that being said, you might be wondering, how does that affect the sorting system? Well, I think I have enough gold inside of here just to show you real quick. But if we go ahead and throw this lever on here, that's going to start feeding these gold-hungry piglins a bunch of gold. And then, once it drops it down, that slime block's going to hit it, and it's going to bounce across. Now, if you notice, we have a whole bunch of items there, and they are all inside of a single stack. And they are not separated at all. So whenever they're passing over sorted hoppers, that means that it's going to detect that item that's over top of it and essentially lock the hopper, even if the item that needs to be sorted out of it should be allowed to be pulled into the hopper below. However, since there's that item, it's going to effectively lock it. And that was the big issue that happened whenever I was designing this farm, is I assumed. And, well, you know what assuming does. So if you saw the last video, then you would remember that there was a ton of sorters along this side here and the side over there as well. Well, due to that bug, I ended up having to rip all of that out because it's not working at all. So I ended up replacing these with just regular hoppers, and because these hoppers are able to instantly pull in 5 stacks of items here, that will allow us to pull all of the items in without allowing the hopper to lock on top of it. Theoretically, the hopper still can lock, but whenever this hopper's full, it's going to start filling up this one, and whenever this one's full, it's going to start filling up this one, and down the line until we get all the way to the other side, which then hopefully there will be no items left. And that seems to be the case because I have not ran into any issues of this system backing up. However, there is room to add more piglins, so we'll have to see in the future. So the biggest problem that I ran into with this is just trying to keep up with the output of the items that are coming out of this, as this has been rate tested and it's averaging about 70,000 items per hour coming out of this farm. And it was really kind of a adventure trying to figure out a way to keep up with this with dealing with the current bugs inside of the Bedrock edition. So what we have down here is 8 different sorting modules, which are all ran together, and all 8 of these are actually sorting the items that are coming out of this farm simultaneously, allowing us to achieve an 8 times hopper speed, which is going to be filling the chest down below. Now, these are really in 2 different banks here. This one over here is going to be taking care of the left side of the ice bank on this side, so this one's naturally going to get less inside of it. And then this one over here is taking care of the right-hand bank. If you're looking at the piglin bartering farm, it's going to be that first side that I was showing you. So this side is going to be our primary side here. Now both of these banks are going to load these chests at 4 times hopper speed. And this one over here is going to load these chests at 4 times hopper speed, giving this combined farm a total withdrawal speed of items of 8 times hopper speed, which is pretty cool. However, I think I'm probably going to have to go back and add some more storage because, well, let's just say I have a ton of items inside of here. I've recently cleared it out, but this thing fills up super quick. Now I've also done a little bit of decorating, and I did this on stream as well. Well, the vast majority of it anyways. And I have this to where this is the disposal system. So everything that bypasses the sorting system that we do not want, like these stackable items and stuff, we have the option to save them, or we can turn these on and then they all get burned. Aside from that, we have 2 different rooms here, and this one's kind of an observation room. I'm not quite sure what we are going to be using it for yet. However, I think it looks a lot nicer than it originally did. I do still have to do a lot more decorating as well. And then I also ran out of the basalt, so I ended up making a little basalt generator here, which isn't anything too fancy, but it does the job and actually produces quite a bit of basalt. Aside from decorating, I also did a lot of work on the gold input system, because if you remember from the last video, we are actually pulling all of the gold from the overworld into here through a nether portal, which is right here above us. And what I ran into is, because the gold only comes through one side of the nether portal, you can essentially only pull that out of the nether portal with a single hopper minecart underneath it. And that made for a really big bottleneck, especially with the amount of gold that I was wanting to put through this coming from Slucifer. So what I ended up doing was putting in a bunch of hoppers here. Now these are staggered to where they're going to allow the hopper minecarts to unload at dual hopper speed. And then we have a ton of hopper minecarts going all along that line there. And directly above that line, we have a ice stream. And I am really excited to show you guys this, because this thing came out awesome. So if you look down here, we have the exact same nether portal. However, we ran into the issue with the items coming through here, and then you couldn't really do much about it. So what I ended up doing was making a contraption which will actually blow out this nether portal, and then I can take those pistons, push it out of the way, and then once they're out, we have a double piston extender that comes across with a slime block that's going to launch all of those all the way across here, and then hit that slime block there, and then it's going to have a slight delay, and then if there's anything left over, then it's going to push it back across, and then the same thing happens over here. If there's anything left over and it hits that string, then it's going to push it back across, and then basically just keep going back and forth until everything is down inside of the hopper minecarts. That way we get absolutely no gold left behind. Now I will load this thing here in a few for you guys to see. However, if I shoot that target block there, that's going to start the process. And if you take a look at that nether portal, you'll be able to see what happens. The portal goes out, that pushes out, double piston extends, and then it reignites the portal. Now, the way that we're doing this is... Oh, by the way, I added a new toy onto the server as well. If you haven't seen this video, you need to, especially if you have any kind of server or realm or do any kind of video recording. This is awesome. This is essentially a command block that I am using inside of the admin panel here on the Project Bedrock server, and all you have to do is jump on top of this brewing stand and then jump, and then that's going to put you into spectator mode. So we can fly around through spectator mode here, and it's totally legit. You cannot access your inventory, your creative inventory, anything like that. You cannot go into nether portals. So it is definitely the intended spectator mode that Mojang made. But the reason why I did that is because I want to show you guys exactly how this thing works. We have a dispenser up here, which is far enough to where nothing goes kaboomy that should not go kaboomy. And what it does is it drops a piece of TNT down here inside of this obsidian, but just on the top of the nether portal. That way it blows out the nether portal, because this is the only way that I could really find to blow out the nether portal other than using a ghast. So I ended up doing this instead and loaded it full of TNT. And hopefully I should never have to refill it, because I put a ton of TNT inside of there. And then once that blows out, it's on a time circuit to where those pistons are going to extend, and then the double piston will extend just as you saw. And then to reignite it, we are just using if I can find it, there it is, a dispenser using a flint and steel inside of there, which is a very simple way of doing it, and it works really good. Oh, in case you're wondering how we get out of spectator mode, we just go over top of this crafting table, and just like that, we are back in survival mode and ready to go. If you want to see how to do this inside of your world, click that card above. Definitely a lot more to do here, but let's head on over to Slucifer, load this thing up with gold, and I'll show you guys how it works. And over here at Slucifer, not a ton has happened since the last time that I showed you. I did get slayed by a few of the baby piglins that managed to get out of here, and lost 300 levels, but aside from that, that was fun. But anyways, down here, I did a little bit of decorating, not a whole lot, but it's kind of a boring palette, but it looks better than what it was. And then I ended up adding in a comparator clock here. That way this thing is not dependent on the trident killer running. I found that sometimes I want those trident killers to be off. However, I want to be able to empty out all of this gold whenever I want also. So then I can throw that on and this thing's going to unload very quickly. And as I said before, this is all going to go way down below to where it's going to go down inside of that nether portal and meet us inside of the nether. Now, I have been trying to get a nether portal to link up over here that's not intermingling with all of the other nether portals, but ever since the update, it's really been finicky and it seems like it's rather bugged. So if you guys have any tips on doing that, I don't know if I should be dividing the height by 3 now or what, but it definitely does not seem to be working the way that it probably should. So I don't know. If you guys have any tips, let me know. Alright, I just put in a little bit over a double chest. Now, I have not put quite that much gold inside of here before, so I'll be interested to see how this thing works. However, we're going to head on over to the nether side of the piglin bartering farm, and we will see how this thing does. And if we go up here, we should have lots and lots of gold. I mean, lots and lots of gold. And yes, I would say that is definitely a lot of gold. That's actually really satisfying to watch, and that's only a double chest full. So let's go and shoot that target block and see how this does. I definitely think I'm going to move this eventually, but for now it'll work. And let's see if we don't blow up all of our gold. There we go. And then it goes back, slight delay. Then it's going to go back, slight delay. And that's probably instantly filled up all of those hopper minecarts. That's probably just going to go back and forth a little bit until it has room to suck it all down. And maybe in the future we might end up having to expand this further that way. That way we have more capacity with these hopper minecarts. Because that is a ton of gold. And it seems to be filling inside of here rather quickly. So that is always a good sign. We have it coming through here at double hopper speed. And hopefully not before too much longer. This will all be done. I'm very happy to see that there's no failures, no items getting stuck, anything like that. And it's looking like the gold is just about done. So I would definitely call that a win. And there goes the last bit of it. And the nice thing is since it's using these to detect the gold going across is, as soon as the gold is gone, there's no more detection and it shuts off automatically. Alright, what do you say we turn this thing on? Pull the lever, Kronk! And as you can see, we have this thing warmed up and going, and just getting enough to make it around to the other side, and then they're going to quickly disappear. If anything does get to the end here, it's obviously not needed, and it can just go into the fire, but aside from that, this thing, I've really never even seen anything go to the fire since I updated this design. Now, let me tell you, I went through a bunch of different designs in order to come up with this one. I've tried a rotating wheel to where this thing had a treadmill going all the way around it with some slabs, stairs. I've used all kinds of stuff. However, I found out that the bug was really affecting that in the same way, so that would not work. I ended up making a track full of hopper minecarts going all the way across it, and basically those, depending on how much they were loaded, would be affected speed-wise, and then they would ultimately end up playing bumper cars, and that ended up not working as well, even though that they were all going around inside of a loop. So that was a big fail as well. And this is really going to be my 4th design. I guess what they say is the 3rd time's a charm, but really in this case it was the 4th time that was the charm. Well, all is good because we got it figured out in the end. Then this over here that you'll hear ticking away is a gold return line that's just going to take whatever gold gets missed and filtered out by the sorting system, and then it's just going to redistribute it up here to the piglins again. So if we go down here, we'll check and see how fast this thing is making items. And from the rate of the gold going into it, it should be rather quick. Now that was already filled up. Got plenty of quartz, plus I already have a ton of material that I took out of here. The blackstone's one of the faster things that fills up, and it's pretty much a constant stream that fills up inside of this thing. And then we have a bunch of soul sand and gravel. Definitely no shortage of gravel at all. That's a constant stream that's basically coming inside of here as well. And once we shut it off and all of the trading is done, you can see that we still have some items there. So that's what this button over here is for. We can go ahead and give that a press. And that's just going to finally clear out what's remaining inside of the system. I would call that a total success. Anyways, that's enough for the piglin bartering farm for now. We may come back to it here in a little bit. However, we're going to move on over to the minigame district where we're going to meet up with Gigi and talk to her about one of the minigames that we did some redstone for a couple episodes back. Let's go. And on my endeavor to the minigame district, I about smashed my face on the shulker box whenever I was flying through the portal. Let's see what kind of presents we have. I love presents. We have, oh, looks like a ton of mud bricks. This is awesome. And also some mud too. This must be from Raine. I recently put together a mud farm for her over inside of her area. And I guess this is her way of showing thank you. So that's greatly appreciated. And I will definitely be using these because these are an amazing block. Plus I get a free shulker box out of it. What's not to love? And on my way over there, I might as well grab some more rockets because I only have 2 left. Nobody saw that. I'm not taking my own inventory, I swear. And I suppose while I'm here, I might as well check and see. Whoa, I got quite a bit of diamonds here. Let's see if we got anything in here. It looks like I'm desperately in need of stock here. And that's primarily what we're going to be... Ooh, more diamonds. That's primarily what we're going to be taking care of in today's episode. Not so much the stocking part. However, we're going to work on something that's going to really help with that process. 36 more diamonds. Don't mind if I do. And inside of the shopping district, it looks like there is a new build that has gone up, and it hasn't taken them long at all to make a beheading shop. This is a pack that I recently added, and this is a Foxy No-Tail pack, of course, like most of them that we run on this server, the heads and also the avatars. Now, you might be wondering who this guy in the middle is, and who this person is here on the left-hand side. This is actually Gigi's new skin, which you might be seeing that here soon, or she might still have her old one on. I don't know, I'll have to see. Anyways, this here is DarkJ 101. He is our newest member on the server. And he is a brand new and upcoming YouTuber, so all of the links for his videos and his content is going to be down inside the description below. Head on over there and give him a warm welcome, will you? Thank you. And if you look right behind the heads, you can see this is a avatar of Gigi, which is pretty amazing. So I think the way that they set this up, I think DarkJ did the redstone here, but it is using arrows, and I happen to have a lot more arrows than I will ever need. So I'm thinking what I need to do is head on over here to Mr. Warden. And we'll come inside here. And as you can see, I've been doing a ton more decorating here, and it's still a big work in progress, but you can see where I'm going with it. And I think it's coming out rather nice. Anyways, we will open up the secret door here. And one of these boxes contains arrows. All of this here, every one of these boxes, there's the arrows, came from the piglin bartering farm. Surprisingly, it does not take very long at all in order to produce this amount of items. Alright, so arrows. Grab those, and I'm sure that this will make a good gift. So we'll place this back like nothing ever happened. And I suppose while I'm here, I'll give you the grand tour. This will take you up to the second floor here where we're going to be selling some merchandise. Not quite sure what we're going to be selling here, but we'll figure something out. And then this up here is just going to be a second balcony, which is going to have more merchandise as well. And this is really still in progress of being built. So this is definitely not the final form, and hopefully it will look better once all of this is done. But we have up elevators here, down elevators here. And just like that, we can navigate the shop. So let's head on over to the minigame district and see if Gigi's over here. Oh, Gigi, are you over here?
Hey.
Well,
Yeah,
hi.
I'm on top of the thing you built over here for me.
On top of the thing that I built. That's descriptive.
Yeah, I'm really good at my descriptive words.
Oh, hi.
On
Sorry
top
to...
of the Christmas tree.
On top of the Christmas tree? Yeah, a lot of people don't... They probably won't get that reference.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely a drag racing reference. Anyways, what did you think about it? I know that we didn't really get a chance to talk about it for a little bit. We've both been busy with creating content and IRL, all that good stuff. Do you have a bow tie on?
I do.
That's
This is my business suit.
your
We had a meeting today.
business suit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's well, I just got my creeper jacket.
It
Uh,
looks good. It's part of the game.
yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I love this.
I guess I'm not really business orientated. I apologize if I knew that I was supposed to bring my business suit. I would have got one out of my closet that I haven't built yet. Anyways,
I'm a
moving on from
pro.
that.
I've got an outfit for everything. I do love this. It works perfectly.
That's good. I saw your recent video about the pigs, and I'm really bummed about that. I really wanted to go hot dogging down this thing on a pig at full speed.
So did I. It
That's
was so much fun when you were able to do it, but I just haven't been able to get them to do what they used to do.
they look like they're a lot faster.
They do,
Huh.
but when you get on them, they're just not that cool. But they still look funny, and they're still, they could be fun to race.
Maybe we can strap a couple rockets to them. I mean,
Hey, now you're talking.
I don't know. That might be I might be pushing the animal laws. Anyways, was there anything that you wanted set up differently on this?
Nothing at all is perfect.
Nothing at all. Yeah, I ran into some issues with the trapdoors that were originally here. Apparently, the trapdoors do not trapdoors. Apparently, the horses do not respect the trapdoors, and they just hop right over top of them. Apparently, the gate that's the same height, they don't think that they can jump over that. So, ended up
Yeah,
having to
it's
change those
strange.
out, but it works. It's just a little bit different on the looks.
Hmm.
So,
Which is fine.
and then I don't even remember how to operate this thing. Draw your lane.
Over here.
You've added more to it. Okay.
My fancy redstone, yeah. Dispensers with buttons. Here, I've
Look,
labeled them so I wouldn't forget.
it looks like it's still working. And then
Sure is.
we'll have to figure something out to do on the end here. That way we don't constantly have stuff going over top of the pressure plates too. You know, they can still hit the pressure plate just from the
Yeah.
side. Oh,
Yeah.
well. Oh well. What can you do?
But we're not out here that much, so.
Anyways, I have a gift for you. I noticed that you have a
Oh.
new beheading shop.
I
And-
do?
And I noticed that it uses arrows, and I have an abundance of arrows, so those are yours.
Awesome.
And
Thank you so much.
hopefully they do you well and get you lots and lots of kills and heads or
It's kind of a community thing. It's for everybody. So this is a donation to the community so everybody can get their heads.
well, I mean, you can see I already do a pretty good job of killing myself as is. Most of these are from baby piglins that actually killed me, so we won't talk about that.
These are terrible. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Anyways,
One bit.
you said that we agreed on instead of paying that we would just do an IOU.
Yeah. You have
Uh,
something in mind?
yeah, kind of. I haven't really worked out all the logistics of it, but I wanted to head on over to the base and show you kind of what I was thinking.
Cool.
What in the world is this up here? Man, Gigi's been busy. Where'd you go? Gigi, what are you building over here? I was just flying
So
by
really-
and I just happened to see this, and it seems like every day I fly over your area and there's something new popping up. Ruins. That's really cool. You did a really good job
Hey.
detailing all of this. And unfortunately
Thank
the
you.
sun's going down, but we can kind of see it.
I'll sleep real quick. I've never built anything like this before, so I thought I'd give it a shot. See how
Well,
I can do it.
you definitely blew it out of the park for sure. It looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a work in progress still.
Well, your work in progress looks a whole lot better than anything that I build. So, yeah, that's
Stop.
pretty good looking. And if you're not familiar with
you.
Gigi's channel, she is this little area here. And as you can see, she has been busy building. And as I have said 100 times before, if you are not following Gigi, you definitely should be because she is definitely crazy on building for sure.
Thank you.
So let's head on over if I can remember what way my base is. I think it's this way. You probably know where it's at better than I do. I always get lost. Alright, so coming over here into my area, I was thinking I'm going to need a storage system here soon because I am really, really unorganized. Like really, really unorganized. And typically that's unlike me. Typically I have a shulker box for every single thing to go into. However, in order to get organized like that, I'm going to need a sorting system. And I'm thinking for the IOU, maybe you could build something for me, like maybe a small house or a barn or something like that that would fit in. I did clear some of the area, but I
Ooh.
think I'm going to clear out some more of this. I can provide whatever materials that you need in order to build it, but I think I'm going to take down this dirt hill also and probably make it the same level as that, and then maybe flatten
Uh-huh.
some of this out, kind of like I did with my house over there that I still have not
Mm-hmm.
finished. But more or less want something to where I can have it more longer, maybe even like a barn. That way I can put in a long stretch of sorting system and maybe a few other gizmos and gadgets, stuff like that. Would you be up to that?
I absolutely. I would love to.
I mean, even if you blow it out of the park, which I mean, just looking at your builds, you definitely will, then I can always compensate
Oh,
whatever the overflow is on whatever the cost is. You just let me know. But
ah,
it is much appreciated if you could do that for me. And whenever you get around to it, no rush for sure. I have other projects going on, so it's not a primary thing. It'd just be nice to have something to put all of my stuff in.
I've got some really good ideas right now, so I think I could probably start on it really, really soon, actually.
Well, no rush, but like I said, whenever you want to. Um, I'm going to try to get probably stream tonight and clear out this area and knock it down. It shouldn't take me very long at all to knock it down. And I might even throw up a beacon because I know that you like having jump boost while building anyways. So
I do.
I'll do that, and that way I can clear it out with haste too, and it won't take me no time at all.
Cool. That sounds like fun, actually. Yep, I can't wait. Can't wait to get started.
It is always a blast anytime that we meet up with Gigi, and I'm glad that she decided to help me with this building and trade for the IOU. It has been one full day IRL since you last saw this area, and one full live stream after as well. And on that live stream, I cleaned this area up a little bit and also did some terraforming and extended this out a little bit. That way, whenever Gigi decides to do the build over here, she has plenty of room to do whatever she needs to, and then I can go back and fill in all of the little details afterwards. And I do still have a few more bits of terraforming to do until I am completely happy with this, but for right now, I think it looks pretty good. And something else that happened on that live stream, which was kind of unplanned, was we went on an adventure and we ended up finding these guys. These big blue balloons. And I ended up only bringing 3 of them back, which was quite the adventure, I'll tell you. However, I ended up doing the duplication on this, which worked very, very well, and got quite a few of them. Now, my plans for these are not going to really be for today's episode. However, it's going to be for the future episode, most likely next episode. And what I'm going to be doing is building a fountain, kind of inspired by the fountains that you would have seen on the earlier Zelda games. I'm not quite sure if they still have the fountains on the Zelda games. I'm sure that they do. But anyways, these guys remind me of fairies with the way that they make the noises. And I was thinking how cool it would be just to have a fountain here. And then underneath the fountain, we could have a mystical room to where you can go down there and meet up with a fairy down below, which would be a allay. And then we can then have a little area where we deposit diamonds, and then maybe have to where the allays pop out after they're reproduced, and then maybe even come with a lead and a fence post, something like that. I'll have to kind of suss out the ideas and see if I can't get it all to intertwine and work together. And I'm sure I'll probably come up with a pretty cool build. So that should be next episode, or maybe potentially the one after that. Until then, these guys are going to be hanging out inside of the shop, and hopefully they don't scare away all of my customers. So over inside of my nether area, just past the piglin bartering, we have this very long hallway, and if we go down here far enough, a couple hundred blocks down, you'll see that I added in another nether portal. And on the other side of that nether portal, we pop out right inside of a mesa biome, and we also have a desert biome over there with a bunch of water as well. But what I wanted to show you was not this over here, it's this here, which is a pillager outpost. And I initially came over here looking for the allays, only to find out that the one single crate down here is empty and that there was no allays inside of it. However, if you turn around, you can see that this is literally one of the most perfect locations for a raid farm. So I think instead of building a raid farm close to the base and having a big eyesore sticking up above the clouds, we're going to start building a raid farm here. Not today, and probably not next episode, but very, very soon. However, for now, I'm just going to claim this area as mine. There we go. It's official. Now, before we leave this area, there's one more thing that I thought was really cool that I've never really seen before. And it is this. We have a desert temple that is spawned completely surrounded by water. Hey, you're not supposed to be in here. Get out of here. It seems that I had some uninvited guests. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on for now, and we're going to be building a new farm. Imagine that. However, this farm is going to greatly help with the upcoming episodes. So I came back out to my industrial district and found another little island here, and I began flattening it out. That way we can have a nice area to build another structure. And what I ended up finding was this stuff here. And this is exactly what we need. However, we're not going to be going around scavenging for this stuff. We are going to be making a farm that's going to produce it. Now, after I finished out flattening out this small island, I had a realization that popped across my mind, and that is this over here. This was always meant to really be a temporary structure to cube concrete. However, what I'm making is going to technically do the exact same thing as this. However, it's going to do more than this will. So I'm thinking instead of using that island, we'll use that island for something in the future. But for this, I'm going to tear this down and build the contraption here instead. This nether portal here will be removed because even though it is super far away from the gold farm, it still manages to link up all that distance. Alright, one nether portal removed, and I have all of my stuff set up here. However, right behind it we have a glitched block, which is very peculiar. I believe that they started appearing after the 1.19 update. Anyways, what do you say? Let's get to ripping out this old farm and start building a new one. Let's go! And just like that, after quite a bit of building, we have ourselves a giant machine here. Now this machine, if you have not seen it, this is primarily a mud machine, and it will produce a ton of mud and then push all of the mud over here into a cuber. And then once it pushes it all up, then this entire wall of pistons will push out and basically make a giant 11 by 12 cube of mud, or whatever else you want to cube inside of it. Now this part over here is the mud machine that I've released on my channel, and I actually have a tutorial for this. So if you are interested in seeing the mud machine part of this, then you can click on the link to the top right, and then you'll be able to build a mud machine just like this, and it works very, very good. It also has a auto feed system here, to where whenever you place in a bunch of dirt in here, whenever you place dirt here and feed it, it will automatically give you another piece of dirt and continue supplying you. That way you can AFK for as long as you would like. Now the nice thing about this machine is that I did not just set this up for mud, I have also set this up for concrete. So if you put concrete powder inside of here, it will push this through. And at the very end here, there is a hollow spot with water inside of it here, which will instantly convert whatever concrete comes into the corner section inside of these two blocks. So it will convert the concrete powder into concrete, and then it will push it in this direction towards the cuber to be cubed like anything else. Now, this part here that I added afterwards, this is a new beta thing that I am trying out, and I'm still going through testing, and once I get done with all of the design testing and get all of the kinks and stuff worked out of this, I will be releasing this for a tutorial for the mud machine as an attachment. But what this attachment does is, if we take pointed dripstone here and place it underneath all of this glass, then this is going to allow this to start draining the water out of the mud, even through the glass, and as you can see, it's going to convert it into clay. Now this clay I can then take from here and convert it into terracotta or whatever else that I would like, or I can just use it to make clay bricks in order to make a bunch of bricks. There is a lot of different opportunities, and I'm super excited about it. However, I can also go into here and change the timing inside of this etho hopper clock up here, and that will allow me to distinguish how much clay I want inside of the mix. So right now I have it set to 100% clay, so every 15 minutes this whole entire thing will allow it to cycle, and then it will push all of it into the cuber here, and then I'll end up with a clay cube that is fully 100% clay. However, if I lower the numbers inside of this etho hopper clock, then I can adjust how much clay to mud ratio I want. So I can do 90% mud, 10% clay, or I could do 80-20. I could really make it whatever I would like with adjusting the numbers inside of that hopper, which is a really cool function. So right now it is inside of the bypass mode, so the clay part of this is off, and if I don't want any of this to convert, then I'll just remove the strip stone down here, and then I can use the mud machine just as it should be used. However, if I want it on, then I can hit this lever here, and this lever is basically going to activate everything and turn off this long pulse extender. Then once that is off, then it's going to start working the way that it should. So what this effectively does is extends this piston, which allows me to no longer put mud inside of here. And then once all of this is converted, then it's going to retract that piston and then allow me to put 11 more pieces of dirt inside of here to be converted into mud and then converted into clay. And then once that happens, there's going to be another 15-minute timer for all of this clay to be converted. And then once it's all converted, it will start the process over again, retracting the piston and then allowing me to put in another 11 pieces of mud. Now this system is entirely timer based and it relies on the amount of time that it takes to convert the mud into the clay. So I'm using that, and I probably can fine tune this a little bit. I'll have to run it and see. However, I have tried to create an entire system to where it detects the clay blocks, and I just about had it working, but I ran into one substantial flaw, and that was that the mud can almost instantly turn from clay into mud as soon as it hits the block with the dripstone on it. And this essentially breaks all of the detection mechanics, because you're going to get a detection from the block being moved into place, but you're also going to need to get a detection for whenever the block changes. And if the block instantly changes faster than the observer can detect it, then that's going to break the entire farm. So I ended up clean slating it and just redesigning an entire farm here, and as you can see, it's working pretty good. So I'm going to AFK here, and hopefully in the next episode we will have lots and lots of clay. With that being said, we are all out of time for today, so if you enjoyed the video and you feel like it deserved a rating, please drop a like before you go. It really does help out the channel. If you really enjoyed the content and you want to make sure that you don't miss any of it, then go ahead and subscribe if you have not already done so, and be sure to hit that bell notification. That way you get notified on each and every video that I upload, including all of the tutorials for amazing farms like these. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.